The chamber was alive with heat, the air thick and shimmering as the flames danced wildly around Eira. She stood at the center, the sacred fire pit before her crackling, its embers glowing bright orange and red, casting flickering shadows on the jagged volcanic stone walls. Her breath came steady, the rhythmic hiss of the fire a strange comfort to her ears. The heat kissed her skin, a sensation both painful and strangely soothing, like an old friend reminding her of the power she held within. Eira closed her eyes, focusing on the fire's warmth, drawing it into herself as Lady Myron had taught. The ritual was meant to deepen her connection to the flames, to awaken the power that had chosen her. At first, all she felt was the expected heat, the familiar crackle of burning wood and molten earth. But then, a sudden surge of energy coursed through her veins, a pulse that seemed to echo the heartbeat of Eira itself. Visions burst forth in her mind's eye, fiery scenes that felt more like memories than dreams. She saw a woman with hair like molten gold, standing at the edge of a lava flow, her hands raised as flames twirled obediently around her fingers. The woman's eyes met Eira's, filled with both sorrow and fierce determination. Eira realized it was her mother, a noble woman of a forgotten bloodline, long believed lost to history. The birthmark on Eira's wrist, a flame-shaped scar she had always thought a mere curiosity, suddenly gleamed with new meaning, a mark of the chosen, a symbol of a lineage intertwined with the elemental fire spirits that had guarded Eira since time immemorial. The revelation struck Eira like a bolt of lightning. Her heart thundered painfully, questions flooding her mind. Was she truly just a blacksmith's daughter, or something far greater? Was her survival of the trial of flames a mere accident, or the fulfillment of an ancient prophecy? The fire around her seemed to pulse with life, whispering truths she was only beginning to understand. Opening her eyes, Eira saw the flames flickering with renewed intensity, as if acknowledging her awakening. Yet, with this knowledge came a heavy weight, the burden of destiny, the expectations of a kingdom watching her every move, and the enemies waiting in the shadows. Later that evening, the sky above Eira glowed a deep crimson, the molten rivers carving their paths like veins of fire across the land. In the shadowed courtyard of the palace, Thane awaited her, his broad shoulders silhouetted against the fiery horizon. His dark hair was tousled, his usual quick smile replaced by a guarded seriousness. "I need to speak honestly," Thane said, his voice low but firm. "You know my family's history, how we fell from favor, how I've dreamed of restoring our name. When the flames chose you, I was torn. Part of me wanted to see someone from my own bloodline rise, yet another part knows you are the key to Eira's future." Eira looked at him, sensing the turmoil beneath his words. "And where do your loyalties lie now?" she asked softly. He hesitated, then met her gaze. "With you. But it's not simple. I fear what ambition might do to us both." The tension between them was palpable, two souls bound by a shared past and uncertain futures, each wrestling with their hopes and fears. That night, Lady Myron summoned Eira to the temple's inner sanctum. The air was thick with incense, the flicker of torchlight casting a sacred glow over the ancient stone carvings depicting flames that never died. Myron's silver hair shimmered softly, her eyes reflecting both wisdom and sorrow. "I have guarded the secrets of the trial for decades," Myron began, her voice steady yet laced with emotion. "The flames do not choose lightly. They seek a balance, one who can wield their power with both strength and compassion. But knowledge carries its own price." She revealed her own sacrifices, the loneliness of her role, and the burden of protecting the kingdom's fragile peace. Her story intertwined with Eira's newfound heritage, weaving a tapestry of duty, loss, and hope. Over the following days, Eira practiced tirelessly. Her hands, once roughened by the hammer and anvil, now coaxed small flames to life, shaping them with a newfound grace. Each flicker of fire was a test of her will, a challenge to master the volatile force within her. Doubts whispered at the edges of her mind, but she pushed them aside, drawing strength from the visions and the support of those who believed in her. Yet beyond the palace walls, unrest simmered. Rumors of rebellion, whispered threats from rival houses, and the ever-present shadow of Lord Kalen Voss loomed large. Eira knew the path ahead was fraught with danger. The flames within her were both a beacon and a warning, a reminder that her journey had only just begun. As the chapter closed, Eira stood once more before the sacred fire, her amber eyes reflecting the dancing flames. The future was uncertain, the stakes higher than ever. But within her burned a fierce determination to embrace her destiny, to challenge fate, and to become the ruler Eira desperately needed. The flames whispered secrets still hidden, and Eira was ready to listen. The council chamber was heavy with the scent of burning wax and smoked oak, the flickering torches casting long shadows that danced across the stone walls like restless spirits. Eira stood near the head of the oak table, her fiery hair catching the light, an ember of defiance amid the murmurs and shifting gazes. Before her, Lady Myron's silver hair shimmered softly, her voice steady despite the gravity of what she was about to reveal. "There are whispers in the wind," Lady Myron began, her eyes meeting Eira's with a knowing intensity. "Messages intercepted, alliances forged in shadow. Someone close to you feeds our enemies information." A hush fell over the gathered nobles and advisors. Eira's heart tightened, the weight of betrayal settling like ash in her chest. To be chosen by the flames was one trial. To survive the treachery of those sworn to her was another altogether. Thane stepped forward, his broad shoulders squared, his dark eyes scanning the room with a protective vigilance. "We will find this serpent," he declared, voice low but resolute. "No shadow can hide in the light of the fire." The council erupted into murmurs, some faces hardening with suspicion, others displaying thinly veiled relief. Alliances shifted palpably. A noble here pledged loyalty anew, while another exchanged a glance loaded with doubt. Eira felt the fragile threads of trust unraveling around her. Every whispered conversation, every sidelong glance felt like a spark threatening to ignite an inferno of mistrust. Later, in the solitude of the forge where her journey had begun, Eira found Thane waiting. The warmth from the dying embers painted his features in amber hues, his expression earnest as he spoke. "I stand with you, Eira," he said, voice a steady flame against the cold night. "No matter the shadows that fall, I will be your shield." Gratitude mingled with the ache of isolation. It was a comfort, but the truth lingered. The betrayal was real, and the cost of leadership was heavier than any heat she'd endured. That night, under a canopy of stars, Eira walked the volcanic ridge. The earth rumbled faintly beneath her boots, molten lava glowing like the pulse of the kingdom's heart. The fire whispered secrets only she could hear, ancient and wild. "Who can I trust?" she whispered to the wind. The flames answered with a crackle, a reminder that in Eira, as in life, fire could destroy and purify in equal measure. Eira's resolve hardened. She would uncover the traitor, rally her allies, and prove that the flames had chosen her for a reason, not just to rule, but to unite. The path ahead burned brightly, fraught with danger and uncertainty. But Eira was no stranger to fire. She would forge her future in its heat, no matter the cost. As dawn crept over the volcanic peaks, painting the sky with strokes of crimson and gold, Eira breathed deeply, ready to face the trials yet to come. "Let the flames reveal the truth," she vowed, stepping forward into the rising light. The kingdom's fate depended on it. The sky hung heavy with ash as Eira tightened the leather straps on her boots, the acrid scent of sulfur curling in her nostrils. Beside her, Lady Myron's silver hair shimmered faintly in the flickering light of their torches, her eyes reflecting a calm that Eira desperately sought to emulate. Ahead lay the jagged ascent to the heart of Veira's volcano, a place spoken of in whispered prayers and ancient songs, the sanctuary of the fire spirits. "Are you certain about this path?" Eira asked, her voice thick with a mixture of anticipation and unease. Lady Myron nodded, her gaze steady. "The fire does not choose lightly. To understand its will, you must face it not just as a trial of flesh, but as a communion of spirit. The heart of the volcano holds answers that even the trial of flames conceals." The journey was perilous. Each step upward was met with heat that seeped through their cloaks, the earth trembling beneath their feet as distant rumbles echoed like the heartbeat of the mountain itself. Eira's amber eyes scanned the molten rivulets weaving through the rocky crevices, their fiery glow casting eerie shadows that danced like specters around them. "Listen," Lady Myron whispered, pausing to place a hand against the warm stone. "The mountain speaks in silence." Eira closed her eyes, feeling the subtle vibrations beneath her palms. The air thrummed with an energy both ancient and alive, a force that stirred something deep within her, a flicker of recognition that transcended words. Deeper into the cavern, pools of molten lava shimmered like liquid suns. Here, the fire spirits were said to dwell, beings born of flame and shadow, guardians of the trial's true meaning. Kneeling before a swirling vortex of fire, Eira felt the heat wrap around her like a living cloak. The spirit took form, flickering between solid flame and elusive shadow, its presence both terrifying and mesmerizing. A voice crackled through the blaze, a language older than stone and ash. Visions flooded Eira's mind, glimpses of ancestors who had walked through fire, their faces marked by pain and triumph. She saw the kingdom's founders, their blood mingling with the molten earth, forging a pact with the fire that was not merely symbolic, but sacred and binding. The fire revealed that the trial was more than a test of survival. It was a call from the very essence of Eira, a living force that chose its champion not solely by blood but by spirit, by courage, by the willingness to embrace both destruction and renewal. Eira's heart pounded as the visions faded, leaving her with a profound clarity. Her mysterious birthmark, once a source of doubt and fear, now felt like a flame ignited within her soul, a legacy intertwined with the kingdom's fate. She rose, the cavern's heat pressing against her skin like a second heartbeat. Lady Myron stepped forward, her steady hand resting on Eira's shoulder. "You carry the fire not just in your blood, but in your spirit. The trial is only the beginning." Outside, the volcanic winds howled, stirring embers that rose like stars against the darkening sky. Eira inhaled deeply, the weight of destiny settling upon her shoulders but tempered by a newfound hope. The journey back would be no less treacherous, but she was no longer the uncertain blacksmith's daughter. She was the flame reborn, ready to face the trials that awaited, to lead Eira through its darkest hour and into the light of a new dawn. With a final glance at the glowing heart of the volcano, Eira stepped forward, each footfall a drumbeat of resolve. The fire within her burned brighter than ever, a beacon in the encroaching night. The kingdom's fate was hers to forge, and she would meet it head-on, unyielding as the molten core beneath her feet. As they descended, Lady Myron's voice was but a whisper carried on the wind. The ember crown awaits its true bearer. And Eira knew, without doubt, that she was ready to claim it. But beyond the shadows, unseen eyes watched the journey's end, and the flames of rebellion flickered ever brighter, promising that the hardest trials were yet to come. The first light of dawn cast a fiery glow over the volcanic plains of Eira. as if the very heart of the earth had ignited in anticipation of the coming storm. Eira stood upon a ridge overlooking the blackened battlefield, her amber eyes scanning the horizon where the banners of her forces fluttered against the dark smoke that coiled like serpents above the shattered land. The air was thick with the scent of scorched earth and molten rock, a reminder that this was a kingdom forged in flame, now consumed by it. Below, the sound of war drums echoed, a grim cadence that sent a shiver through the ranks. Eira's voice rose above the tumult, steady and clear. "Hold the line! For Eira! For our people!" Her words were met with a unified cry, their fierce hope igniting a spark of courage in every heart. The ground trembled as Lord Kaelin's forces surged forward, their armor clinking and weapons flashing in the morning light. The first clash was a violent symphony of steel and flame. Eira wove through the chaos, her senses heightened, every movement purposeful. She felt the familiar warmth of the fire within her, a steady ember keeping doubt at bay. Thane fought by her side, his sword cutting arcs through the enemy ranks. His eyes met hers briefly, a silent vow of loyalty passing between them. Yet even in the heat of battle, Eira noticed the wariness etched in his features, a man burdened by the weight of war and the ghosts of his past. The volcanic terrain offered both peril and advantage. Rivers of molten lava carved unpredictable paths, their glowing trails illuminating the night even as ash drifted down like snow. Eira's forces used the fissures to their favor, setting traps and ambushes that slowed Lord Kaelin's advance. But the enemy was relentless, fueled by a hatred that burned as fiercely as the flames that crowned the kingdom. Amid the cacophony, a sharp cry split the air. Eira's heart clenched as she saw a young soldier collapse, a crimson stain blossoming across his chest. She rushed to his side, the heat from the nearby lava casting eerie shadows over his pale face. His eyes, wide with pain and fear, locked onto hers. "For Eira," he whispered before his hand went limp in hers. Tears pricked at her eyes, but she blinked them away. There was no time for grief, not yet. The cost of leadership was heavy, and every loss carved a deeper mark on her soul. She pressed forward, her resolve hardening like steel forged in fire. The battle raged on, a brutal dance of death and defiance. Lord Kaelin appeared amidst his troops, his cold steel blue eyes cutting through the smoke. His presence was a dark flame, threatening to consume all that Eira had fought for. The two leaders seemed locked in an unspoken contest, each fueling the other's fury. Suddenly, an explosion of fire erupted to Eira's right, a volley of flaming arrows set ablaze by the dry ash. Thane shouted a warning as Kaelin's mercenaries launched a deadly ambush, their battle cries mingling with the roar of the volcano itself. The air was thick with choking smoke and flying embers, turning the battlefield into a hellish inferno. Thane rallied the scattered defenders, his voice cutting through the chaos. "Hold fast! We cannot let them break through!" With a fierce charge, he led a desperate counterattack, cutting through the enemy lines with a grim determination. Eira found herself at the heart of the conflict, wielding her fiery powers to shield her comrades and strike down foes. Flames danced at her fingertips, bending to her will as she shaped them into barriers and blades. But even as the fire obeyed her command, her heart ached for the cost of this war, the lives extinguished like candles in the wind. As night fell, the battlefield quieted, leaving a landscape scarred and smoldering. Eira retreated with her wary forces to their encampment, where the wounded lay beneath makeshift tents. Lady Myron moved among them, her silver hair glowing faintly in the flickering torchlight. She tended to the injured with a calm grace, her eyes reflecting the flickering flames as she whispered ancient prayers. Eira approached her, the weight of the day pressing down like the ash-laden sky. "How do we endure this, When so much burns around us, Lady Myron's gaze softened. Fire destroys, but it also purifies. From ashes new life will rise. You must hold on to that truth, Eira. Leadership is not just strength, but the courage to endure and rebuild. The Queen nodded, drawing a deep breath as the embers of hope flickered within her. Tomorrow the war would continue, and with it, the fate of Eira. But for tonight, beneath the starless sky heavy with ash, she found a moment of fragile peace. The flames of battle had scorched the earth, but they had also forged a leader tempered by fire and loss. Eira knew the path ahead was perilous, but her resolve burned brighter than ever. The kingdom's future depended on it. And so, as the volcanic winds whispered promises of change, Eira prepared to face the trials, still to come undaunted, unyielding, and aflame with the hope of a new dawn. The war tent was heavy with smoke and tension. Flickering firelight threw long, trembling shadows across the worn maps spread out on the broad wooden table. Eira leaned over, her amber eyes sharp yet shadowed with fatigue, tracing the lines of troop movements and supply routes. Around her, her closest advisors exchanged quiet words, but beneath their faces lay a shared unease, a sense that the fragile momentum they had gained was about to be shattered. Thane stood close by, his broad frame a steady presence. His dark hair was tousled from days on the front lines, and his guarded smile was absent. "We need better scouts," he muttered, his voice low but urgent. "Kaelin's forces won't wait for us to strike first. They'll come at us when we're most vulnerable." Eira nodded, the weight of leadership pressing down on her chest like an anvil. "We can't afford missteps," she said, voice steady but laced with worry. "Each mistake costs lives." Lady Myron, graceful even in the dim light, stepped forward, her silver hair catching the firelight like molten silver. "The enemy grows desperate," she warned, eyes glowing faintly. "They will strike where we least expect." The council dispersed into whispered debates, but Eira's gaze was drawn to a figure lingering at the edge of the tent, a trusted ally whose loyalty had never faltered. Or so she believed. Under the cover of darkness, far from the flickering fires of the rebel camp, that ally met with shadowy figures loyal to Lord Kaelin. The air was thick with the acrid scent of sulfur and the distant rumble of the volcano, a grim soundtrack to the cold exchange of secrets and coins that sealed a fatal pact. The betrayal was complete. At dawn, the ash-choked sky bore witness to the chaos unleashed. Eira's forces, caught unawares, scrambled as the ambush tore through their ranks like wildfire. The roar of battle merged with the crackling of flames and the anguished cries of the fallen. Smoke curled into the sky, mingling with the volcanic ash, painting a grim portrait of devastation. Eira fought fiercely amidst the turmoil, her fiery hair a beacon of defiance even as she took wounds that burned deeper than the fire's sting. Thane was at her side, his sword flashing through the smoky haze as he covered her retreat. Every step away from the battlefield was a victory and a loss intertwined. The narrow volcanic ravine that led away from the carnage was suffocatingly hot, the glow of lava flows casting a hellish light on their path. Exhaustion tugged at Eira's limbs, but her spirit burned with unyielding resolve. "We will rise from these ashes," she vowed, each word a spark against the darkness. Yet trust had been shattered, alliances fractured. The betrayal cut deeper than any blade, sowing seeds of doubt that threatened to consume her cause from within. As she and her remaining loyalists regrouped, the question lingered: who could she truly trust in a kingdom where flames could both forge and destroy? But even in retreat, Eira's eyes burned with fierce determination. The trial was far from over. The fire within her was not yet spent, and the ember crown still awaited its rightful bearer. The path ahead was perilous, shadowed by treachery and bloodshed. Yet, amid the ruins of trust and hope, A new fire kindled, one born of resilience, courage, and the undying will to reclaim what was hers by fate and by flame. As the echoes of battle faded into the distant roar of the volcano, Eira whispered to the night, "This is not the end. It is the beginning of the true trial."